Hey, I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain. Today we're in the shop installing our Garmin BC40 wireless camera on our side-by-side. The BC40 is a wireless backup camera that is perfect for side-by-sides and off-road vehicles. This thing is IPX7 rated, so it's going to hold up to the elements like mud and rain. And with this, since it's wireless, it's actually a pretty easy install. This just pairs with your Garmin Navigator. For us, we have the Garmin Tread installed on our machine, but there's a lot of different options out there for different navigators. But one cool thing about the Garmin Tread is you can actually pair up to 4 of these cameras with it. So if we want a full view all the way around our machine, we can do that, and we can see all the terrain and obstacles around us. So pretty cool little feature. Now, as far as mounting goes, this is going to work for just about any side-by-side, and you can either mount this up to a tube or a flat surface like the license plate mounting area. So with all that being said, let's get started. To do this job, we have the Garmin BC40 that comes with the mount, camera, a couple screws, and some zip ties. Now, depending on how you decide to mount this up, will determine if you use either the zip ties for the tube mount or the screws for the flat mount. Now, if you're going to do the flat mount, you're also going to need a 1/8 inch drill bit. But if you're just doing the tube mount, then you're going to use some side cutters. And in either case, you'll use a number 2 Phillips screwdriver and 2 AA batteries. First thing you need to do is find a good mounting location for this camera. So for us, we don't have any tubes off the back, so we're going to use a flat surface to mount this to. Now, one thing you need to be aware of is this camera does rotate up and down, and that can affect where you mount it. So we're going to pop the camera off by pulling back on this tab and just pull the camera out. We're going to loosen these adjusting screws. And we'll put the camera back in place. And then we can get a better idea of what we're actually going to see when we hold this up to the mounting location. And that way you can make sure your location is going to work. So with this, a good place to mount it up would be by where you mount your license plate. But unfortunately, this doesn't line up with the mounting bolts on a license plate bracket. So if you go this route, you're going to have to source some additional hardware and maybe even a couple of spacers. But we don't want to do that. We want to use what came in the kit. So another option, we could go to this barricade, but we're going to be tying stuff down to this, and this could be in the way when we're loading and unloading. So for us, the best location on this machine is right here. We're going to drill 2 holes and maybe even use a couple zip ties to get this mounted up. Now again, for mounting, every machine is different. So maybe you don't have a flat surface to mount this to, and you've got a roll bar or a round tube right in the back that's easy to mount up to. So if that's the case for you, you just set that on there and you use 2 of any of these slots, slide the zip tie through it, and tie that to the bar. Now, whichever mounting option you go with, whether it be the tube or roll cage or a flat surface, you need to make sure the camera has a good view. And then the other thing you want to make sure is that it's up and out of the way and is not going to get damaged. Now, one last thing I want to point out on this machine is we're kind of limited for mounting options, and this mounting spot isn't ideal, but it is what's going to work best for us. So we're just going to set this bracket in place. I'm going to center it up. So I've got this. I'm going to center it up with that badge right there. And then I'm just using an Allen key to scratch the plastic where I'm going to drill the pilot holes. And anytime you're drilling through this plastic, you want to make sure there's nothing on the backside that you're going to damage. All right, so I've got those 2 holes drilled, and if this was perfectly flat all the way across, then I would just use the 2 screws and that's going to be enough. But we don't have anything supporting it back here, so just for some added security, I am going to drill 2 holes and use the provided zip ties as well. Now that we have the holes drilled, I'm going to go ahead and use both screws to get this mounted up. So that's pretty solid just as it is, but again, I'm going to run those zip ties through. Then we can snip the ends of those zip ties off. We're going to put some batteries in the backup camera. Now we need to get the camera ready. So to do that, we're going to press back on this tab on the battery cover. We'll rotate that out and then pull up on it. And the back side shows the direction of the battery. So the positive side is out. Reinstall the cover. Do the same thing on the other side. Again, positive side out. Then you can see this is flashing, so this is ready to pair with our Garmin Tread. So I'm going to go ahead and install this to the mount. And then we're going to have to take it back off once we make the final adjustments of where we want to point it. And now we'll go get this synced up with our tread. Now, if the tread doesn't try to pair with your BC40 automatically, what you'll want to do is go into your settings from your home screen, and then you're going to scroll down to wireless cameras and then click through the prompts to set up your new camera. Once you have the camera paired up, if you want to rename it, as soon as you exit out of here, you can name it whatever you want. So from our navigation screen, if we want to get to the backup camera, we just hit that button in the top right corner. We've got our bat vision. And we have our guidance lines set up right now. So if you need to adjust these, what you're going to do, you go to your menu, click on guidance lines, adjust them, and you can either drive in a parking stall, and you're going to line these lines up with the line on the parking stall, or drive next to a curb and line these white lines up with that curb. So obviously we can't do that in here. We're in the shop right now, but just be aware of that. And then you can have this either show those lines or disable that. And then you can also change the resolution. So you've got high resolution, low resolution. That's going to be the longest battery life, so that's what we're going to go with right now. So with the BC40, you've got a lot of different options you can do in here, and some of those you might need to just reference that manual that came with it. But those are the main things you need to know. If you want to activate this on startup, you can hit that as well. The last thing we need to do is remove the camera. We're going to tighten down both of those adjusting screws, and then this thing is set up and you're ready to go. If you need this or any other accessories for your side-by-side, you can find those on our website. We also have other install videos for some Garmin products like the Tread. We also have that power switch. So check those out, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.